Hi. We just watched a movie.
Hey.
What up? It's your boy.
What's up, y'all? We are back at it again. It's 2022. The nominees for the Oscars this year have been released, and we just watched our first film in the Best Picture category. And I have a million questions, but it is The Power of the Dog. I have a million questions, but two specific ones.
Disclaimer right from the get-go, it is not about dogs.
I kept saying the whole time, the dog is a metaphor.
I know. I know, but still. So it has
Jesse Plemons,
Kristen Dunst, who are partners in real life, husband and wife. Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yes,
and
Lundy from Dexter in a cameo role.
And it's set in like Montana in like the, what is it?
1925.
In the 1925?
Yes.
Okay. I was actually filmed in New Zealand.
Yeah, the cinematography was really nice. The backdrop
it's very
of the
beige.
mountains.
It's very brown.
I would love to go to Montana someday, but at the same time, I also know that just like this movie, it's not diverse at all.
So this is nominated for Best Picture, and then is Benedict Cumberbatch nominated for Best Actor?
I don't know.
I think he is because I know that he's on the cover. He's one of the ones on the cover for the Hollywood issue of Vanity Fair.
Okay.
So I think he is.
I think both Kirsten Dunst and Jesse Plemons are nominated too. I think.
Yeah, they're one of who's the other one that's a couple that are both nominated? Javier Bardem.
Oh yeah, Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz. That's right.
So are we gonna get into some spoilers with this, or are we gonna keep it pretty friendly?
Okay, well let's just start out with the friendly part. We'll just go into our reactions because I in my opinion, do it like we did. And don't go into this movie with any pre-existing knowledge of what Netflix. It might be about.
We watched it on Netflix.
Don't even read the description. Just go into the movie and watch it and have zero expectations whatsoever. And let your expectations build over the course of the film.
But then also let them stay low. Because it's just...
Hey, you're giving some pre-existing knowledge.
Okay. But how are we going to make a review?
I'm sorry.
That doesn't make any sense.
Let me finish then. So we're just going to say what our reactions are generally, and then we'll tell you when we're going to go into spoiler territory, okay? Mm-hmm. Because I have some freaking questions that I want to bounce off of you. We haven't even really bounced off anything from each other yet.
Okay.
I know, it's late. We started the movie at 11 p.m., so it's late. Okay, so my primary reactions are... It's a very frustrating film to watch.
It is.
It's
slow burn.
It deliberately leaves you on the edge, and like you don't know what's happening, and sometimes it's almost like they're trolling you, making you think something's going to happen, leading up to it, and then something else entirely different happens. There's so much understated, and there's so much like atmospheric like tension that makes you think, that makes you fill in the pieces. It doesn't do it like, it doesn't help you out by trying to tell you this is what our story is. It's like it's up to you to fill in the pieces. Okay, anyway, how about you? What did you think about what did you think about the movie?
It's just, we're off to a start. This is probably one that I'm gonna put towards the bottom. I mean, I get, we last time we watched Minari and it was really good, and then we're like, let's keep doing this. So, we not only like a lot of the experience we've had of watching the movies before is kind of affecting my perspective on like how I feel about these movies. So like this one, like I'm okay. It was not my cup of tea. I didn't like it. It made me feel uncomfortable. And it's super awkward.
It did get really awkward.
It's awkward. It's just, I'm like, it's a little predictable. The way that they tell the story, it's like, okay, like,
no, it wasn't though.
It
could have been. It was sort of, but it could have went so many different other ways.
But it's just, I mean, the way that it did go, I'm not surprised that it did. Like, I'm like, like it just, the way they did it, the way they did the setup made the ending that much more impactful.
You're giving away too much.
What are we supposed to do with this review? I don't understand.
Okay, we're going to now move into.
I'm not saying things specific. I'm just saying, like, that's
got it.
Like,
all right.
Come on, we've done so many movie reviews. I know how to like not get into spoilers. Yeah. Like, come on.
No. Okay, all right. Thank you. You're right.
I don't, but. Yeah.
Okay. Now, that's the end of our spoiler review. I give it a 7 out of 10. How about you?
He's a 4.
4 out of 10. Wow.
I'm not kidding when I say like it's on the lower. It's on the lower bracket, right from the get go.
An average score of what, 5.5?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's
wow.
Okay. I mean, it's done well. The actors are great. But I'm just like, no. Like, no thank you. There was no dog.
The dog was a metaphor.
You're a metaphor. You're shut up with your metaphor, man.
Okay, all right. I'm sorry that you did not like this film. There's a couple questions that I have.
Okay.
All right, and this is spoiler territory now. So first of all, what do you recall was the earliest mention of anthrax? Because when you said...
So they said, I can tell you, in like one of the beginning scenes, they're all like herding the cows and they're walking through, they're bringing them somewhere and they're like, oh, like that's a dead cow. And then they're talking about like the things that like usually make the cows die. And that it's like sometimes like animals will get to them, or that it's anthrax. So it's a thing.
Yeah.
Like it's a common thing.
Right.
Back then.
Right. Okay.
I could pull up the beginning.
Yes. No. I trust you on that. It's just that I couldn't think. I knew I was primed to think about anthrax. But I couldn't think what was the first mention of it in the film because it's so disjointed. My second question, and here's the prime question, and this is really the main question out of all of it. What do you think what was going on in Pete's head? The boy, the awkward boy. What do you think was going on in his head at the end? And I guess my question is...
I think he's a psycho. I think he's a little bit psychopath.
So do you think then that he planned it that way?
I think so.
From how far did he plan is my question. So remember, there was a scene in the beginning when you first meet him. He's drawing, right?
Yeah.
And he has like
newspaper clippings,
and he has like
flat. It was like a kind of like a nude photo.
Sure. And then he has a sketch of a mansion, and then his mom, who he calls Rose sometimes, she's like, can you imagine living there or something like that? And she'd be like, too many places to clean or something like
But then
that.
he said, "Oh, we're gonna
Yeah,
have."
we're going to have our
Okay,
own maids.
you're right, because okay, in the beginning I didn't understand who he was.
Mm-hmm.
So like I was like, is he like this? Is he like a boarder? Like it's a boarding house, or like it's his relative? But so there is that. It's like, was this like a whole like
It might have
elaborate
been. I
operation?
feel like it might have been that. I think that that is what's left for us to examine, is that did he plan this from the start? But now I'm trying to think, like,
Did they plan it from the start?
the mother and the boy.
Yeah.
It's possible. See, they don't give us any information. We don't know what led to the mother and Jesse Plemons getting married. Like, we don't. It isn't really. It's left to the imagination to see why exactly Jesse Plemons would have wanted to get married to.
It's just kind of, I mean, she's eligible. They're eligible, and
So then, how could the boy have planned that?
I don't know.
See, that's the thing.
Well, maybe because what they were doing, like their business was like people come through and like eat there, so it's like
Yeah.
there's the likelihood that like different kinds of people will come through, and that it like enough that they can afford to buy a meal. So, or maybe that they're the Jesse Plemons, they're regulars, so eventually they're like, we know that they're going to be like this, so this is our plan of attack. I don't know.
Well, okay. There's that scene though when they first meet, and she. Do you think like Kirsten Dunst was crying deliberately to sort of get sympathy from Jesse Plemons?
Maybe.
So I guess they might have been like in on it together, the mother and the boy.
So then, where's the metaphor?
The metaphor of the dog.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they talk about the dog as like.
Well, there was like a Bible. Was it a Bible verse?
Yeah. But then he talks about like the dog in the mountain or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
as just like it's a barking dog, and like he, what do you call it? Benedict Cumberbatch first, like starts his relationship, I guess, with the boy when he's playing with the dog. So I guess maybe some of it, the boy is like a psychopath where he like planned to get there, him and his mom to get there, and then eventually he also figured out a plan in order to get rid of Phil. But I don't think he planned like all of that all at once.
It's weird. But then there's also like, what's interesting is the element of Bronco Henry. Like,
yeah.
he's a character.
That's right.
He's not an actor, but like the character had passed away before, but like all the cowboys are always asking, like they do a toast on his behalf. Like it's this whole thing. Like they're like laying it on thick that that person is important, and like they're I mean, the big implication I get is like there's some kind of like grooming. And
do you think they were both groomed by Bronco Henry?
Who?
Both of them. So
I don't
Jesse
think
Plemons
so.
and.
I don't think so. I think it's just him, and like there's
No, but Benedict Cumberbatch said that Bronco Henry like groomed both of them, didn't he?
I don't know.
I thought in the beginning that's the kind of what he said when he gives the toast in the very beginning. He says Bronco Henry did this and this for you and me, and why don't we remember when we used to do this, go out into the pastures and do that and stuff like that. And I feel like maybe Jesse. Well, my thought then would be that Jesse Plemons sort of like he grew up or
ignored it.
He got kind of like affected by it in a different way.
Or maybe, I don't know. Or just that it was just him. I don't know, like
Okay.
so there was that like
Yeah.
that, you know, we see that in like the crime shows, like there's the
Sure.
pattern, like it's like the one per generation does it to the perpetrator, and then they in turn, it's a weird cycle how that happens, but it's like yeah, you know, they continue it. So
Yeah, and it is
yeah,
fascinating how they kind of lead us to think that it's going to be a story about how Benedict Cumberbatch is going to like prey on this boy the same way that Bronco Henry preyed on him, and like turned him into some hardened like messed up dude.
yeah, it's interesting because it's like, I mean, it's, I don't know, we like it's you it's kind of, it could be hard to read between the lines with it.
Yeah.
Like if you
Yeah.
aren't like if you aren't really like paying attention to it, then you kind of like miss it. But well, there you go.
Well, yeah, I don't think this will be one of my picks for Best Picture, but it is a really interesting film.
Yeah, I mean it's fun to sit here and like speculate
Yeah.
everything else that's not said. So
Yeah.
anyways, I should get that as a tattoo. That'd be fun. I do want one like that, but not like that.
Yeah, okay, let's so
Okay.
guys,
Thank you.
later.
Boop.